So we're going to jump right in. So I wanted to ask you what your first exposure was to the beauty industry. So when you first got kind of started into this, how did that start for you?
So I started in beauty as an intern at like magazines. So I started like being that girl that sat in the closet that was filled with the samples, looking at all of them longingly, wanting to take them all home. I eventually worked my way into being an assistant on the publishing side. So more sales and marketing. Worked into the editorial side where I got my first sort of taste of digital content. And that's when I was like, oh, I'm in love because I became a digital beauty editor. I did that for quite a few years. Then I went to the agency side where I launched sites like hair.com, skincare.com, the L'Oreal Paris Beauty magazine, really just doing like full scale digital content programs for them. And then 3 years ago, I came and I joined everybody here at L'Oreal to lead hair.com.
Amazing. I love that.
There is a whole new way to rise in the beauty industry. LEAD, Rolf's Global Institute, powered by L'Oreal Professional Products Division, is the world's first college degree program for beauty professionals. LEAD is higher education designed to expand your opportunities and open doors to greater success. Create a future with more financial freedom, more autonomy, more possibilities, and more impact. LEAD also provides scholarship opportunities to eligible students worldwide. It's more than a degree, it's a movement. This is where the future of beauty is headed. Be part of it. For more information, please visit leadinstitute.degree.
I think that it's so cool because digital media wasn't something that we grew up with. No. So how did you kind of find this passion for it? Did you just become super interested in it as things were happening? Or did you find that like, this is like, did you want to be in fashion and then realize like, okay, this is something that I can do and really excel in because there's not a lot of people doing it yet? Like, how did that happen?
Honestly, I kind of fell into it. I actually almost did not go to the interview for the beauty editor job because I had never heard of the company that it was for. And I always think back to that because that was like the pivotal moment in my career that changed everything for me.
Yeah.
And I thought like, oh my God, I almost didn't go just because I was like, I've never heard of this before. I had really wanted to work in magazine publishing. I wanted to do more like feature stories, like a little bit more newsy.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know, it was when I became that beauty editor and they send you the samples and I was just like, oh my God, this is so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we started doing like videos on YouTube and I just loved how you could constantly be doing something new. And every time I thought I knew what I was doing in digital, I found out like, oh no, there's something else we could do, something new we could try. So it was just this medium that like, as a woman, I'm just so passionate about because it's just something that's like a part of my everyday. And then to be able to also work in a space that's constantly iterating and changing, it's like it never gets boring.
Yeah.
So
I think that that's a side of the beauty industry that's exciting for like a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people that are like, okay, even if I get really good at doing hair or skincare or whatever it is, like it's always changing so much, like literally daily, the trends are changing. And it's something fun to keep up with. So I really love that you kind of found this space in that and kind of found like the happiness in what you were wanting to do and merge it. I know a lot of students that I talk to will be like, yeah, I was the one that was like looking at Vogue all the time. And I was like doing all these things. Like fashion really is a big, like, I don't even know if it's like foot in the door or whatever. Like it really is a big intro to the beauty industry that I think a lot of people have gravitated towards this through that. So tell me about your job now. What are you doing currently? Like what does your day-to-day look like?
So currently I lead the hair.com team from a content perspective. So hair.com is PPD's owned sort of digital content to commerce website where consumers can go. It's all consumer facing. They can go to get the latest trends in hair, get inspiration to take back to the salon for their next appointment, maybe discover their next professional that they're going to go to. And our goal really is to teach people about the professional point of difference, explain to consumers, potential clients, why professionals, their services, their techniques, their education, their expertise is like so elevated, and also why it's important to use professional products, how prescriptive it all is. it's really just this vehicle of discovery for the professional industry for consumers who may not be aware of it already.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I think for a lot of people listening that are stylists that are like, hey, if you haven't checked out hair.com, definitely, go do that and get that information, because I think that a lot of stylists kind of feel like, okay, I have to explain this. Okay, I have to explain why the shampoo is important. And I think it's really cool to have something kind of backing that up. Yeah. So what kind of content are you creating like on a daily basis?
So much. So much. So we have articles on the website. All of the articles have expert interviews. So we always interview a professional. It's never just like an editor telling you like how to get rid of brassy hair. It's always an editor interviewing a professional who will tell you all the steps you need to do to get rid of brassy hair, because that's like a big search term that people are looking for. Pins of inspiration that we'll put on Pinterest, maybe just pictures we put on Instagram. So a lot of that professional inspiration. And then a lot of video.
Yeah.
A lot of video.
Where do you record that? Do you have stylists that you work with to record that? How does that work?
So for most of our videos, we actually have a network of stylists. We work with all of the brands in PPD, and we tap their stylists who are interested in doing it. We send them briefs. We get on the phone with them. We kind of talk them through what we're looking for. And then we just have them do them. So they'll answer the questions. They put themselves forth exactly the way they would behind the chair. And they just kind of are the star of the show for that type of stuff. And then our team will also produce videos internally. And a lot of those are done just like in our homes and taking those expert tips and like bringing them to life in real time.
Yeah, I think that's so cool, because I think a lot of what we're talking about in beauty schools right now are that like, yes, it's really important to learn it's literally like in the first week of our curriculum that they're learning how to shampoo hair and they're creating their social media accounts.
That's awesome.
And so they're starting at such an early point in their career, because I've had a lot of students say like, well, should I like delete my beauty school stuff once I go into the salon? And it's like, no, like show that growth and show where you came from. So talk to me a little bit about why it's so important for stylists to really put themselves out there. Like what benefit you see for that?
There's so much benefit of that. I feel like, when I think about that, I think back to like the kind of the best advice that I've ever been given in my entire professional career was when I started doing the morning show circuit. And I had to go live on morning shows to represent brands and talk about all these different things, gift giving, how to bring the spa home.
Wait, when you say like morning shows, like
local morning shows.
Okay.
Local morning shows.
That's a dream. Like
not
I
like
love
the
that.
Today Show.
Yeah.
But like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
At 5:00 in the morning. That I had to drive to get there.
I love that.
But it was amazing. It was so much fun. But I had to be media trained to do it. And I remember the PR company that we were with at the time asked the brand to leave the room. And they sat with me and they said, you are your own brand. You are your own brand. It doesn't matter where you go, what products you're representing. You are Jackie Burns Brisman. And you need to make sure that you are authentically being yourself, because that's going to be with you. That's going to be the constant when all the variables change. And so when I think about salon professionals and I think about people getting started, why it's so important to have social media, why it's so important to market yourself, because they are their own brand. Like their skills, their expertise, all of that, that's going to get people to like stop and pay attention. But it's them, the brand that is them, the authenticness that they bring forth, that's going to get people to stick around. Even if that's like, a client that becomes a consistent client because they just want to be with you. Let's face it, I'm an every 3-week root touch-up girl. But it's the person, I could probably get it done just about anywhere.
Right.
I don't know how you mess up dark brown.
Yeah.
But I go to the person I go to because I just love who they are and their brand that they bring to the table. And I would follow them anywhere and have. So I think that that's what the biggest piece of advice and why it's so important for them to get out there and market themselves, because they are the talent.
I think it's hard sometimes to do that. And I think that when the stylists are new, it's scary to put yourself out there, because are people going to say mean things about the hair that you did? Yep. You know what I mean? And I think that it's really good to get over that. Yep. I think it's really good to just kind of face that head on and just be like, that's going to happen. It's inevitable, but to really market yourself. I've seen so many stylists, just because I've been in the industry, like while this all has changed to more digital content, I've seen so many stylists explode and make such good money from going viral on TikTok and like getting their hair out there. Like you said, I mean, they are their own brand, even if they're working at a salon, like they're still getting their people in their chairs. So I think that it's something that you have to do and that you have to get over. I think that there's ways that you can do it to where you don't have to be like doing TikTok dances or whatever.
Exactly.
There's so many different ways to do what you're comfortable with, but be consistent with that.
Exactly. I think it also gives them an opportunity to reach so many more people. When you think about TikTok and going viral on TikTok, you don't have to do a dance to like go viral on TikTok. You can just be offering something to people, and maybe they're not going to be people who can come visit you at the salon. Maybe they don't have the, you know, they can't afford the prices, or they're not in that area.
Yeah.
But they might hit the follow button, and you are the person that they're going to go to for every piece of advice. You're that person they go to for all the inspiration, the latest trends. So there's so many other ways to build like a loyal sort of client base outside of just the actual techniques and services.
Yeah. So what we're doing here today and what we're going to be doing this week in New York is really trying to highlight different professions in the beauty industry so that stylists or even young people that are even thinking about beauty school, or maybe just thinking like, hey, I want to get into this. I'm seeing this person that I'm working with, or I'm seeing this friend or whatever, like doing so well and being so happy. What has the industry kind of brought to you, or what is your kind of view of the industry not going to beauty school and kind of having like a different route? What does it look like for you?
In terms of
just
things available?
Job. Yeah. I think of like the job that you get to have, or like the people that you get to work with. Like,
I think it's really endless when I think about it. Even just working here at L'Oreal, there are so many people, especially in PPD, that are former hairdressers that have been behind the chair. And now they're the ones that are helping to inform product formulations. They're helping to inform the marketing strategies for those products to reach the right people. They are the ones designing the education behind the techniques that maybe people are going to learn behind the chair in the schools. So I don't know, there's so many different facets. I think there's really like no ceiling to what you could eventually take that and turn it into.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that you've kind of had a different path. And I think it's cool that you've done different things that have got you here. What is like end goal for you? Like, what do you see yourself doing kind of 5 years, 10 years? Is digital media something that you're always going to like have a passion for? Do you think that there's other areas of the beauty industry that you would like to kind of focus on more, or that interest you?
I think for me, digital just like has my heart. I think we were talking about it before. The fact that digital changes every day, like what I think I know today is not going to be true tomorrow. They're going to come out with a new platform, a new algorithm, a new format that people are doing. So it's just constantly changing, which I find so exciting. To me, the goal is always just to be happy and to do something that makes me happy. And that's probably, you know, the most privileged thing that somebody can say, but it's the truth. Like if I can find a way to, you know, make what I need to make to live the life I want to live for my family while simultaneously being happy while I do it, then that should be the goal, right?
I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. I think there's a lot of shift in the industry too, of people either coming in or leaving or whatever. And I do think like you have to be happy. You have to love what you're doing. So keep following those steps. Like if there is something you're doing in your job that's making you happy, like keep doing more of that. Like, and like, that's kind of like your thing with being in fashion, but then it's switching. Then you just have to find the thing that is bringing you joy. And if you're lucky enough to get to do that, I think sometimes you have to create that space, create that job, make them see why, like if you're working at a company, make them see why it's important that you offer what you can offer to them. So I think it's amazing. And I think we should all be doing that. I think everybody should be doing the thing that makes them happy. You had mentioned about things changing. So how do you recommend for if somebody is new to the industry, do you recommend being on every single platform? Do you go on the platform that is just hot at the moment and then keep following whatever is hot at the moment? Like what do you recommend for that?
I, without a doubt, would recommend not being everywhere, because then you spread yourself way too thin, especially as one person. I think it's important to figure out what platform puts you in front of the people that you want to be in front of. Where is your audience? So if your audience is on TikTok, be on TikTok and really focus that. But that's also if you're somebody who feels comfortable, you know, talking in front of the camera, being camera facing. If you're somebody who just really loves more taking beautiful pictures of your work and maybe breaking it down, maybe really focus on Pinterest. Focus where the audience may be. And I think that that'll help it also like kind of inform like where to really spend your time.
Yeah, that's such great advice. Cause like I said, I think a lot of people try to do it all and you just kind of can't. And
when you try to do it all, you don't do anything well.
Yes.
I think that's what everybody always says. So when you focus, like you can do it really, really well.
Yeah. There's a lot of stylists that will say, you know, like I am putting so much time into before pictures and after, and it's like balancing, figuring out what your clients need. And we always tell our students, like, if you want to do vivids, like make sure you're posting all your vivids, you know, and make sure you're doing those things because you have to like, but that's what you said before, like going back to like, be yourself, be who you are and like who you want.
You said it also before when we were talking about like when somebody like goes to beauty school, do they get rid of what they had done during that beauty school phase? Like immediately I was like, that's a video. Yeah. That's a video right there. That's a viral TikTok to show the growth and the transformation and the skills, and everything is content. Yeah. Like that's the thing. Everything is content. Yes. Like, is that how your brain really works? Bad. And I feel like so badly for my team sometimes because I feel like I think in sizzle reels. Yeah. And like, that is just not a great way of trying to get your ideas out. Yeah. No, I think that's so smart. Yeah. Like, do you ever like just lay in bed and then you'll wake up and you'll be like, we have to make this? Like, are you just sending ideas? I put them in my notes. I put them in my notes. Yeah. I have come to realize that no one wants a late night email at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yes. Even though I never expect anyone to answer it. I know. That's what I do. I'm like, I'm just getting this out. Like, I just have to get this out of my brain. Yeah. So I started sending it to myself. Smart. Yeah. Really. And then I forward it over. Yeah. And then they see that I did this at 3 o'clock. Yes. They're like, she's crazy. Yeah. She's up. What does your team look like? How did you choose your team? Does L'Oreal choose the team for you? What did that look like? I am so fortunate to work with probably some of the most talented people in this building. I would definitely say that they are all subject matter experts in their fields. So whether that is SEO and editorial, magazine publishing backgrounds, digital publishing backgrounds, that's who is leading that sort of pillar of the team. Brand engagement, really strong with influencer and creator and social media, like finger on the pulse, always knows what's new even before I do. And I consider myself quite an expert, but like puts me to shame sometimes. Awesome. And then from a video production standpoint, like the absolute best in the biz. I've worked with people who have won Emmys in the past, and that's Savannah on my team blows me away on a daily basis. That's amazing. So in total, how many? There are 3 people on my team. Okay. On the content team, but then we work with agencies and different vendors. We'll tap different vendors depending on what we need in a certain moment. So if we have a big campaign for maybe a new launch with Redken, we might tap an influencer vendor. So we can get a bunch of different creators so that we have a lot of diversity and we'll go out that way. It's really cool. If we have a need for different types of experts, we tap all of our brands. So like we're just a small team of 4, but like when you think about our network, we have all the professionals and all of the brands, and then we have all of the vendors that we're able to have and work with at L'Oreal. So it's a big team and a big pool of resources when I really think about it. I think one of the things that's been like a little surprising being here is like, and I know that the office hours and days are a little different, but you think L'Oreal and you think just it's got to be this huge, and it's big. It's big, but it's not like when you think about like this is the content and like, and we're getting to talk to you and you're just a normal person. It's very normal. I think that from somebody who hasn't grown up here, and I think a lot of our audience obviously is very unfamiliar with anything that's like this. It's really cool to see the realness. It's really cool to see like a shared passion. We're just in our first day of interviews here, but everyone has a very like streamlined passion and very focused. I think that is one thing that I think I've noticed. Rob's shaking his head. Like he agrees. Like, I think one of the things that I've noticed is that like everything's intentional. Yes. Like everything's focused. It's not like all over the place. Yeah. I might be saying this and like picking up on noticing it because I feel like I'm all over the place sometimes, but I think it's really cool that everyone's like, no, this is what we do. And this is my job. And this is, what I'm focused on. I think it's awesome. And working in smaller teams. I mean, even doing the tour around the office, like being like, yeah, this is, I don't know, whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's it. Like right there. That's so cool. Yeah. Like, it's so crazy that's just all happening. Yeah. So it's definitely like, I will say of all the divisions, I definitely like, and I'm not just saying this out in the back, but like the professional products division is without a doubt some of the most passionate people I've ever worked with. Like there's so much passion for the salon industry in this division. Like it's just like the lifeblood underneath everything. Like if we have a meeting, even on hair.com, like we speak directly to the consumer, but there is not a single time where we don't hear, what about the pro? Like, what about the pro? So it's like, that is always the
awesome.
thing that everyone's thinking about here. That is the cornerstone. We couldn't do anything without the professional. So
I think
And
it's
I
been
feel like
really
it was
cool to
passionate.
like, you can feel that.
Yeah.
Like that's like, and like you said, not even just like to give yourself a pound of advice, like that's real, of what's happening here. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being here with us. Where can we follow you?
You can follow us on hair.com, HAIRDOT.com. And I'm on JCB.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I know that there are people that will probably be DMing you messages. I feel like if you get flooded by beauty school students, you'll know it's because of this.
Keep it coming. We love it. We want to hear from everybody, and
Awesome.
anybody that wants to talk to us, we want to talk to them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There is a whole new way to rise in the beauty industry. LEAD, Rolf's Global Institute, powered by L'Oreal Professional Products Division, is the world's first college degree program for beauty professionals. LEAD is higher education designed to expand your opportunities and open doors to greater success. Create a future with more financial freedom, more autonomy, more possibilities, and more impact. LEAD also provides scholarship opportunities to eligible students worldwide. It's more than a degree, it's a movement. This is where the future of beauty is headed. Be part of it. For more information, please visit leadinstitute.degree.